selling at any price. And, you know, Aerosoft has been, you know, in recent years, they've made a stand against subpar products. You'll notice they've rejected a few products over the last couple of years because it fell below a certain benchmark threshold for quality. But when it comes to Sim Market, they'll just take whatever. And a lot of what I've been seeing lately on Sim Market is a bunch of FS2002 freeware junk for 30 bucks. You know, and I don't mean to, you know, down talk any developer or anything like that, but to me that's just, you know, that rubs me the wrong way, you know, because and here's the main reason behind the complaint. The main reason behind the complaint is you look at the product page and you look at the screenshots and the fucking terminal is like 3 miles away. They're taking a bunch of pictures of a PMDG 737 high in the sky on an approach. Here's the inside of the cockpit of the 737. Here's a picture of some freaking clouds, you know, and then there's the terminal way down over there, and then you're just expected to shove out, you know, 20 or 30 bucks or whatever for something that you can't even see. So then you get some poor guy who's like, oh my God, I've been wanting this airport my whole life and someone finally did it and I'm gonna buy it, and then they get it and it's junk and you can't get a refund on it. And, you know, you just kind of feel like you lost out. And that sort of is what led to these whole live streams in the first place. So you can get right up close and personal with the airport. You can ask questions, ask to see things. You know, that stuff is very important so you can really see what it is you're spending your money on. Because, you know, I really get a feeling that a lot of these sort of unknown developers that have no website, no support forum, that sell these things on Sim Market, you know, I have a feeling that they're out to try to con people. And for the most part, I've really gone out of my way to keep news of these particular projects off of Air Daily X because I don't want to open anyone's eyes to something. And then the next thing you know, they buy some junk and they're like, yeah, but I heard about it on Air Daily X, you know. And I get a lot of news tips from people saying, hey, can you write about this airport or write about that airport or announce this or announce that? And I'll look at the quality and I'll have to go back and say, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, but no, I can't do that. Not unless you can provide some better high-resolution screenshots or something. And even if it falls below a certain quality threshold, I'll just flat out say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's not something that I myself would buy. You know, there's a lot of issues with it. And I do have to maintain a certain quality threshold because, you know, there are those out there that are really trying to deliver a quality product, and there are those who are just trying to slap something together. And, you know, I remember back in the old FS9 days, you know, there was so much freeware to go around, and developers were busting their ass to try to create the best quality freewares that they could do, and then they'd release it. You take, for example, these guys like Sun Skyjet, who delivered that crazy Philadelphia, and they're doing an even crazier Detroit, and I mean, the quality is just insane. And yes, it takes 20 million years to get out, but even more so that it takes so long for them to do it, and they still give it away for free. You look at Shez Ansari with Long Beach and Ontario, and what else did he release in the last year or so? I think it was Yuma, Arizona. Ooh, here's a joke. All right, so the joke is, how was Yuma, Arizona founded? How did they found the name, right? So you get these cowboys are riding on these horses, and they find this land, and they say, well, hey, check it out. We got this new land here. We're gonna go ahead and make a town. We're going to build a town right here on this land here in Arizona. We're going to build a town here, but we got to come up with a name. And so these two cowboys are talking to each other. And they're like, well, what are we going to name this town? And they say, well, I'll tell you what. This is what we going to do. First guy that rides up on the hill, we going to shoot him. And the first thing he says, that's what we going to name this town. So the first guy rides up the hill on his horse, and they shoot him, and the guy goes, ugh! And they're like, damn it, we can't name the town that. All right, well, let's just do it again. Wait for the next guy to ride up the hill. Whatever he says comes out of his mouth before he dies, that's what we're going to name this town. Second guy rides up the hill, and they shoot him. He goes, ah! They go, well, damn it. This ain't working. It's like, all right, you know what? Let's try this one more time. Third guy rides up the hill. He's a black guy. And they shoot him, and he goes, you mutt! And that's how you got the town of Yuma, Arizona. All right. So anyway, getting back to you know, Shez Ansari and Sunsky Jet. I mean, again, these guys are working really, really hard to deliver high quality, payware quality stuff, and they're giving it away for free. And it's taken them years to do it. You would think that they would need a little bit of money, you know, just for something that's taken 5 years to get out, but nevertheless, they still give it away for free. So yes, it can definitely rub me the wrong way when, you know, someone just realizes, oh my God, I've just learned how to use Gmax, so here's a blurry terminal building, and I will just take a picture from a mile away, and then, you know, they'll download it, and they'll buy it, and they'll be screwed, you know. And so, yeah, you got to be careful what you buy. Taking a look at these runway lights here, these do look like custom. I will point out one thing that I have noticed about the scenery that I'm gonna say negative, and that is perimeter fences. They did not put any perimeter fences anywhere. I mean, a guy could literally just walk right from the parking lot onto the airfield. Where are the perimeter fences, guys? I don't know, but let's see, we got a couple of floating lights here without any structures attached to them, but these definitely do. Oh wait, well this one has a structure, but that one don't. So for each one that floats, and then the next one has a structure, or what? Yep. All right, I get it. So there are some structures there. Okay. That's kind of interesting. So it's like one, and then a structure, and then a floating light, and then a structure, and then a floating light, and then a structure. Come on, structure. Back up. Structure. Okay. Nevertheless, very nicely done on the night lighting, though, or the runway lighting, I should say. Definitely liking the custom work there. So I know that's a very, very big deal, getting the runway lighting done correctly. So, combination of some floating lights there and lights attached to their corresponding poles. Whoa! What the hell? Where did that airplane go? Where did that airplane go? He just like crashed into the ground. Oh no, there he is. Okay, I'm sorry. For a minute there, it looked like he disappeared. I thought he went through the runway. That was crazy. All right, let's take a look at some more comments here. Give me just a minute. I'm trying to scroll up here. Jetline's pointing out the performance looks good for such a large airport, really well done. And that's one of the great things about PacSim as well. I mean, even that really, really huge Manila, as big as it is, I mean, the frame rates are just insane. If it's one thing that PacSim knows how to do, is they definitely know how to give you decent quality with high performance. And you know, AI, everything is turned up to max. We haven't jumped into an airplane yet, but nevertheless, I mean, you can definitely see here the quality and the performance is really well done. So, very good performance here. 1506 jet says a terminal blocks the road, so that's probably why they did not make moving cars. PacSim's art style kind of looks like Taxi to Gate in a way. Darker texturing reminds me of it. Sort of like the shadow work, I guess. I know there's a word for it. There is a word for that development process, but I can't think off the top of my head what it's called. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Sort of like the shadow baking or something like that. Yeah, definitely. Those ground textures look really nice. Sun is still working its way down. We should see these night lights start to come on. The runway lights are already on. I don't see taxiway lights or anything yet, so those probably take a few more minutes to start coming on. Ooh, is someone saying the stream cut out? Bake Shadows, thank you. Bake Shadows. Someone said the stream cut out. I know earlier today, in the earlier stream, the OBS cut off and cut back on, so if that's happening, let me know. I've got to figure something out with this damn OBS because it's really, really driving me crazy. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, if a commercial came on, That's because the OBS cut off. I don't know. I downloaded an update, and I probably should not have. I should have just left it alone. Because whatever's in this latest beta is screwing me up. So I'm really sorry about that. And someone there says he gave Shez a hand on that ONT. Yeah. Ontario, speaking of ONT, so I guess, I'm not sure if it's official or not, but I know that the people, or rather the communities of the Inland Empire are trying to take over Ontario from Los Angeles World Airport. So, which I think is a good idea because the Los Angeles World Airports aren't doing them any favors. Here comes Greg's favorite airline in on the final approach. Very nice, looking smooth, right over the fence. Bringing her in right over the piano keys. Very nice. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Taipei, Taiwan. Current time is 7:30 p.m. There's scattered thunderstorms in the area. Thank you for flying United. There we have Scoot holding short. So again, very nicely done on the grass textures and the ground textures as well. We can see the taxi signs are starting to light up a little bit as well. Again, really sorry if the thing shut off, but if it cuts off again, let me know. I'm gonna really have to work on that. So here, just still taking a look at the comments here, any questions. Someone says it causes Chrome to crash. That's not good. Yeah, it's something definitely going on with OBS. It's a bad installation, so. I'm gonna have to work on that. Let's take a quick step away from the airport and head out over to the city, because I know one of the biggest things that the development team pointed out was the amount of work that they had to put in working on the scenery surrounding the airport, and so it's only fair that we go out and take a look at all that they've done. I did see some larger buildings sort of off in the distance, so we'll go out and take. I don't know if it's Taipei proper or not. I really didn't do much research on Taipei in terms of the city scenarios, but I'm very curious to see what all they have added. Here's like, is this like an old airbase? Right next to the airport. And it's just a photo real runway and with some added hangars. Land on the image if you like. The AFCAD here looks a little bit, looks like it could probably use a little bit of working on. That United managed to stop short in the first 3 yards of the runway and then backtrack. I don't know what's going on there, but looks like the AFCAD could use a little bit of work on that. Looks like there's a taxiway kind of going all the way through this airbase. I'm not sure if it's a taxiway or a road. That's what it kind of looks like. Ah, there's a city center off in the distance. I don't think they included that. It's kind of far. I don't see photos of the so I don't think they actually did the actual city of Taipei. But it looks like they just did this huge sort of coverage area surrounding the airport. Which is kind of what we see here. So photoreal coverage is not, the very, very best. Ooh, it's certainly so the photoreal texture application is not the best, but I do happen to know that getting photoreal imagery for these areas are not really easy to come by. But nevertheless, it gives you more of a realistic overview of the areas that's surrounding. I know that with Manila, that huge coverage area that they did, I wouldn't have been mad at them if they decided to do downtown Taipei, but nevertheless, you can see it's way off in the distance. But I think they've added it. Let's just slew over there real quick. I'm actually kind of curious. But I don't think they did. We're just gonna slew over there real fast. But I think this is all just default FS. These buildings out here, but I am curious to satisfy my own curiosity. Well, there's a little city airport here as well. What airlines are flying in here? Fat. Far Eastern Air Transport. Fat. That airline is fat. So we got a lot of these Asian or Taiwanese-based carriers, looks like. Well, to be honest, you know, the buildings that are already here actually look really good. Just these buildings here that are placed by Flight Simulator. So not bad at all. I've never been to Taiwan. So yeah, that all looks very good. Just that. I'm not sure if this is. I don't know if PacSim added these in or if these are just part of the default scenery. I'm not really sure, but it looks good. So, you know, I don't really think they needed to do anything there. I think that looks fine. That looks fine. Let's head back over to the airport. Let's hop in an airplane and head back over to the airport. In fact, maybe we can just fly an approach here. I've got to see what I have in my entourage. Let's see. Give me just a second. Let me see what we working with here. Switch over to desktop for a second. I don't think I have the Aerosoft Airbus installed right now. Oh, someone was pointing out no trees surrounding the airport. I thought I saw some trees out there. And there's Ross jumping in there. Ross, good to see you. Somebody's up late. Let me see here. And Palocchio's here as well. Haven't seen him in a while. Some guys are saying the stream is laggy. Man. Greg, can you is it laggy on your end as well? I'm just kind of wondering. I don't know what's going on with this software. This is kind of driving me crazy. Let me see if I can jump in something really quickly. I can't remember if I uninstalled that thing or not. I really can't remember. No, I think the Aerosoft Airbus is installed. It should be. Yeah, it is installed. Let's see. Let's pick something. Actually, let's do it this way. Aerosoft. Oops, wrong way. Let's find the Airbus. Where are you? Okay, Air France, Frontier, Global, House, Land. Nope. That's not Aerosoft Airbus. Come on. This is freeware. So I could have sworn there was, you know what, I'm just going to have to pick. I wanted to pick an Asian airline here, but I'm not seeing nothing. United. Viewing. A lot of Aerosoft liveries here. British Airways. Jetstar. Jetstar is Asia. Oh, wait. No, that's that freeware thing. Damn it. Anything I want to pick out here with deliveries? Shoot. Spirit. Spirit sucks. Alright. Well, alright. We're just going to have to pick something here. Sleazy Jet. This is fine. What does that mean, non-extended? The hell? You know what? We'll just use that. Alright, let's go. And then hopefully it just won't crash into the ground since we're floating in the air like this. Let's see if we can just fly in really quickly. Let's give this a shot. if it will let me. You know, the Airbus is not really one of those just try and fly it real quick type of airplane. It doesn't really respond well to that kind of behavior. I'll try anyway. Let's see what the airport is obviously. So we're moving back into the scenery coverage area now. Going up against the traffic, so hopefully no funny business. Actually, I don't know if I'm able to control my flaps or not. Give me 1 second here. I need to activate FSUI.
2,500.
Yeah. There's a lot of thermals here too. I can really feel this thing shaking. Try those control J jet bridges.
Speed, 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 speed,
This guy
speed,
sounds like a hairdresser.
speed, speed, speed.
1,000. 1,000. 1,000.
And returning to the airport. Man, the lights haven't turned on yet. How much further down does that sun need to go? It's like evening sunset. It doesn't look like it's actually set yet. Not quite.
$500.
Oh, this is a funny thing.
400.
I gotta clean this up now.
300. 200.
Pull up.
100. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Terrible. Horrible. Anyway, we can take a look at the airport now. And you really do get a... Can I turn here now? I think it's too big. One of the things you get from this perspective as opposed to flying around in the helicopter. That asshole better go around. That's right, buddy. Take it around. I kid you not, I saw an ANA 777 avoid a Southwest 737 There we go. That's more like it. So now we've got the taxiway edge lights on. We've got the center lights on. Much, much better. In my opinion, I think Flight Simulator just it codes night lighting a little too late in the day. And in the mornings, the night lights turn off too early. I wish there was a way that could be coded differently. Alright, so we got these evergreen hangers up ahead. Turn around here. Back towards the terminal. What's going on? I can't seem to turn. I don't know. There might be something wrong with my insulation, or there's something I'm not thinking of. I can't do a simple thing like turn here. There we go. There's the terminal all nicely lit up. And yeah, you can definitely see the center lights, the edge lights are lit very nicely. You can see some of those buildings off in the background there. There's your Hello Kitties, which I think is a Japanese conglomerate, isn't it? Very, very well done taxi textures. I'm going to take a look at some of your comments in just a moment. I'll ignore anything that says I fly like shit. See here each gate, and then of course now we can see how those overhead lights are lit up. Very nice. And we try to turn this thing again if it's going to let me make a freaking turn, because this thing's like not going to. Here for a minute, just kind of take a look around. Very nice. I mean, when you see it from this perspective, I mean, you really get an idea of just how good everything looks when you're seeing it from this sort of eye point. I mean, they did a really good job here. Huge difference. Let's find a gate and test the jet bridge show. Let's see. Pull up to something with a little bit of glass here. Looks like we got a docking system here. I think. Maybe let me see. I can't see. Oh, is that really working? I don't know. You can see inside a lot better now. Oh, that thing ain't working. Okay, let's see. Oh, crap. Spoilers. Let's see, there's A320. Let's try it. Control Juliet. Nothing happened! Wait, I don't need to like have my engines all shut off, do I? Usually I don't think I do. Alright, well. I don't think I need to. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work on that one. Let me slow down to another gate here. I don't know. I don't see the Control J working. I could have sworn that PacSim does do it. I might need to take a look at the instruction manual here. Let's just try another gate real quick. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Just rolling through some of the comments here. Hang on a second. So far, it ain't working, so I'm going to have to take a look at the manual. Boy, you guys are mean, man. That's why I never fly on streams. You guys are ravaging animals. The marshal or in GSX won't dance after you do a parking job like that. Oh, okay, I see here. So Garrett is saying the jet bridges only work with AES, so not with prepared. Well, that sucks. I do have GSX. It's not installed right now. I do have GSX, but the problem there is GSX is not going to bring you a jet bridge. They're going to bring you some stairs. But so in this case, if you don't have AES, which in my opinion, it's just an outdated product now, you know, and I think I have like 30 AES credits, and those things are $20 a pop, so you do the math. So I love AES. I do miss it. I miss not having it, but, you know, it'll never work in prepared. And unfortunately, in this case, I guess PacSim has not learned how to code their own jet bridges. I could have sworn in Manila that it did, but, you know, I'd have to really go back and think about it now, because I guess not. But in this case, you're not going to have any animated jet bridges. That kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, well, this is pretty much it in a nutshell. If there's anything that you guys want to see that I missed or did not show or you want me to do, now would be the time. And I can do that before I end the stream. But for the most part, this is it. Do I like it? I love it. I think they've done a terrific job with this airport. And definitely, I think it's definitely going to appease those who have been looking for a decent version of Taipei for so many years. Just one of the things we didn't do was just take a look at a mid-daylight sort of look at it with the sun higher up in the sky, so you guys can get sort of a little bit of a better idea of the textures here. And from the virtual cockpit perspective, just kind of looking around. So again, I mean, a nicely done scenery from PacSim. I mean, this thing is really well done. Okay, yeah, so Garrett's saying Manila doesn't have moving jet bridges. I don't know why I thought it did. But you know what, though? It's funny because the first flight, you know, the only flights I've been doing flights from Dubai to Manila, but, you know, cargo freighters. I haven't needed jet bridges, so that does make sense, although I haven't used the scenery in a long time. So Palokio is asking how much is the airport. We're going to take a look at that right now. And I would like to see, you know, FSDT team up with developers to get the JetBridge animation. I mean, they have to submit these files to Oliver in order for him to do the JetBridge coding, and you know, it would be nice if I don't know if the guys at FSDT would really bother to taking the time to work on other people's projects when they've got their own stuff to work on. Whereas AES, that is the product, but I think it's something that would be really good for GSX. I really do believe that, and would certainly, I think, push sales for that particular product. So that's something that I think I would want to see them do as well, but you know, I really don't know. Show us typhoon season. Well, I don't think Flight Simulator simulates typhoons or hurricanes or tornadoes, so I don't see any point of doing typhoon season. Oh, Misha's up. Nice. Rain, sure. Let's turn on some rain. I do use the. I got to give my guys a plug here. The guys from FSFX Packages and my Precipit effects. Let's turn on some rain. See what we see here. By request. Sorry if your screen goes blank. It will do that just for a minute. All right. So there's your rain. That's your Precipit effects rain. Don't see any ground like reflections or anything on the rain though. I don't think so. Let's see something here real quick. Let's move back to the taxiway and see. I don't think so though. I don't think they do that. I forget what they call it. That sort of ground specular that refraction technique. I can't remember what it's called, but I don't think they do. So just kind of looking around here. No, not that I can see. So yeah, no, I don't see any of that. Mosey on over to the runway here and see if there's any there, but oh, you know what, I think the runway does. I think I saw some reflection there on the runway. Let me see. Oh yeah, the runway does. Let's change the view here, or the time of day, so you guys can see that a little bit better. There we go. So definitely present on the runways there. You guys can see that. That looks very nice. Oh, well, can you see that from the cockpit view here? A little bit. So definitely on the runway. It just doesn't look like it spills over into the taxiway. Let me just, if I scroll around this way, you can kind of see it there a little bit. It looks very nice. And then we come over to the taxiway, and definitely not present on the taxiway. So just on the runways, you get that surface refraction. Someone can tell me what that's called. I'm not sure what it's called, but someone can remind me of how you pronounce that. But otherwise, yeah. Very nice. I really love the way the night lighting was done. The night lighting was done very well. You can tell they spent a lot of time on the night lighting, so very nice shot down there. I like this right before sunset type scenario here. All right, any other questions? So ground reflections, but only on the runways. No, I don't think you're going to find any winter textures here. And this is prepared version 2.5, by the way. What title? Oh, maybe. Oh, I probably need to update the writing on the Twitch page there. I haven't done that in a long time, so Yeah, I will correct that. But this is version 2.5. Let's see. Our ball is saying I switched from FSX. Hopefully I pronounced the name right. I switched from FSX this year. I like P3D, but how do you get high details? I don't know what you mean by high details. Maybe you can be a little bit more specific. Specular reflection, that's what it's called. Thank you very much. And Torbo says, excellent website. Well, thank you, sir. My pleasure. And Greg is still tearing up his headsets. How do you do 777 flights and not VAS out? Well, here's the thing. I mean, you kind of have to be willing to make... did the lights go back out? You kind of have to be willing to make a sacrifice when you're flying something like that 777. In other words, you're going to have to take your scenery down to FS9 levels in many cases in order to enjoy it. So especially if you're flying in and out of heavy airports, that's sort of the and the guys here who are watching will probably tell you that fly those sort of heavier load intensive aircraft. Because it's not really a matter of performance anymore. At one point it was, but a lot of these guys nowadays, whether you buy your computers or build them yourselves, I mean, performance isn't the big issue anymore. The big issue is just memory, or like you said, VAS. And in order to get away with not doing that, is you have to do one of two things, and that's either A, you've got to really take down your settings, or B, you take off and you fly halfway through the flight. And I do know that PMDG does add in that means where you can save your flight mid-flight, and then you stop the simulator, clear up the memory, start it up again, and then resume that way. And I know that sucks for a lot of people. I mean, I certainly wouldn't like to have to do that, but that's really the only way you can get around. Otherwise, you're going down to the 1024 textures, or maybe even lower than that. And then there's things like AI that take a lot of your VAS. So there's a lot of different components in there, and you have to just you have to be willing to turn them down in order to make do. And that's just kind of the sad reality. I know that Prepared has been more or less, I guess, unofficially stating that they are coming up with some sort of method or tech or whatever it is in order to make more use of memory somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, and there's been conflicting reports. There's one guy who's a moderator at Lockheed Martin, whom I don't think he knows what he's talking about, but he confirmed that they are working on 64-bit, and then we had John Vittima come out and said, no, they are definitely not working on 64-bit. They're working on some other memory coding scenario or something. So they're doing something. We know that. We just don't know what. So we'll just have to sit back and wait and see, what they're going to come up with. Oh, is that Stan? What's up, Stan? We were talking about Jevitsky earlier today. When I started the stream, I was talking about the hangars, how PacSim did a really nice job on modeling the hangars, and I mentioned that one of the things I really, really liked in a recent scenery was with Warsaw, and I mentioned about the 787 and the whole SODI thing and all that. So we did take a look from the outside, some of this internal modeling, but we didn't go inside. But you can get up close. You can see some. I mean, it's mostly just it's very simple. You have these sort of elevator doors here. You've got some pay phones on the wall. There's like a little TV screen there, and then if you go down, you start to see some of these areas have artwork on the walls here. Let me see. We move down to the next one, and you see like there's like this Chinese artwork. Here you go. On this end, you see here you've got like some kind of Chinese artwork here. So you got some simple seats there. And then in other areas, if we, for example, if we go around over to the other side here, let's see. I really do like the way all these lampposts light up, by the way. Very nice. But if we come around on this side, and then you'll see they put different artwork and I think like some advertisements on the walls here. Let's take a look. Let's see, not that one. And then we saw some shops and stuff too. So here you can see here, there's some kind of wall art. I guess I can push through inside the terminal so you guys can take a look at that. Oh, no, not right there. Here we go. So you can see they've got all this sort of like wall art and stuff in different areas that they did inside the terminal. As you move down, you can see there's all kinds of little stuff here. So you've got some shops and stores and different things on the wall, and then when you are on the outside, you see some of this stuff. See, that's interesting how you can see it here. You come in, you can't see it, but then you go out and you can see it. So it's an interesting way. It's very interesting how they coded that. Very interesting, but you can kind of see their different, shop stuff. So it's not as detailed as your stuff there, Stan. But very well done, and it gives you a very clear idea of what's going on inside. And if we go back and pull up in front of one of these gates, I know this guy is using this gate, but I'm just gonna plop my ass down right here. Let's see here, and then go back into the cockpit if I can. So then you can kind of look at it from this perspective, and you can kind of see there's a bit going on inside, just kind of from this kind of perspective. This is not really a gate, but kind of gives you an idea, sort of. So they've kept it fairly simple. The only thing that's missing is just people. I mean, even if it's static people, that's really I think the one thing that I think PacSim has yet to do is I don't think I've seen them do static people yet. Just yet. And then we'll go back and take a look at the hangars again. We're gonna slew taxi here. Actually, it's funny, I don't even think we looked at the cargo section yet, now that I think about it. We really didn't, did we? Let's see. Ooh, my airplane's doing kind of a takeoff thing here. We actually didn't take a look at this side of the cargo area, so let's just take a moment and pan through here really quickly. And then coming back around here, you can see where they did a pretty good job on the inside of their hangars. You can see here you got this little China Eastern or China Southern guy. Underneath here is 757, looks like. It's actually a nice static model. And over here as well. So the hangar is just not completely dull and empty. Definitely a lot going on there. And then we kind of have these sort of westerly parking pads here as well. Man, the AVCAT seems off. I mean, there's just planes going around all over the place here. But anyway. Getting a little bit dark. Let me take a look, see if there's any more questions. If there's any more questions, do let me know so I can show it to you guys, whatever you need to see. Let me see. Oh, that's actually, oh, okay, there we go. That static model 757 is a Jivitsky model. There you go. Looks like someone's buying your stuff. Let's see what else we have here. Any other questions? A little comment there about prepared version 3.0. Yes, we shall see. Let's see. Did I need to bring the rain back? No, I think we showed all the rain. Okay. Let's see, interiors. Yeah, and again, they add it just enough so that you can see in and yet still keep things fairly simple. So I like the way that they did it. I would have liked to see some static folks in there. Um, Misha saying depends on how detailed you make it. Most of the time, an interior will only have as many polygons and texture draw calls as a single building. So. In fact, it's got to be early in the morning in Warsaw, huh, Stan? The babies are keeping him up. He's on night shift. And then Greg says, Amisha, mostly the internal modeling is close to the same vast as the exterior of the same building, more or less. I think that was a question. If done right, yes. So, yeah, to me, the only big drawback of this scenery is just not having the jet bridges. That, to me, is just... That's the only down. Other than that, I mean, they did everything very, very well here. That's the one thing, is doing that jet bridge coding. And Misha, since we have you there as a developer, because obviously Stan is here, he's a developer, and he uses his sim-object display engine to get his jet bridges going. A lot of developers have figured out how to do the Control J. I know that Jarrett Marshall has said that coding is pretty complex, and I know he hasn't done it in any of his airports. To date, Misha has not done a jet bridge airports yet, but maybe he'll do one in the future. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how complex it is to implement that technology, but I know in the case here, when you have something like AES, when you can just let someone else deal with it, that's great. But then when you get into prepared, people get left out. Let's see. Oh, a lot of people are asking me if I'm going to do a stream for the Open LC Canada Alaska. I don't think I can. I have and I don't know, Misha, maybe you can answer this question, but I actually use I have the FTX regions installed. So if you have the FTX regions installed, that would have to give it priority, right? So would I have to set it to global and not hybrid mode? Is that how it works? If I set it to global and not hybrid mode, and then I install the FTX Northern, the Alaska Canada, will that show up right? I'm not really sure. A lot of people are asking me about that. And I'm thinking, do I got to go in and now uninstall a bunch of stuff? Because if that's the case, I really don't want to go through that trouble for that. So that would be a good question. Someone's asking, is the scenery surrounding the airport stock? No, it is not stock. They did do a huge coverage area surrounding the airport. And let me just bring the sun back up a little bit so you guys can see that. In fact, let me just kind of go to a higher elevation here. So you can see here, it is a huge photoreal terrain coverage area surrounding the airport on all sides. Goes all the way to the beach. Doesn't quite hit the city center, which is here where the cursor is. It doesn't go out that far. It kind of just goes right here, and that's kind of the edge. And it kind of doesn't quite make it to the foothills of these mountains here in the background. So it does cover a fairly sizable area, but it is not stock. It does come with a complete photoreal sort of coverage area here. Let's see, any other questions? A lot of people are asking, how much does it cost? Did they put it up on Sim Market already? I know that initially they were, where is it? I know that initially they were only selling it via their own website, because obviously they get more of the profit that way, as opposed to, let me pause this as soon as it pops up, because otherwise there's going to be an echo in the room. Maybe it won't. Let's see, PacSim. Oh, here it is. So on their website, $35. Is it on Sim Market already? Oh, here it is. 27.50 euro. So US dollars. Is it cheaper on Sim Market? Yeah, it is. It's actually cheaper on Sim Market. If you hover over that, you can see there $30.37. which does not include their VAT tax. So if you're in America, you don't have to pay that tax. That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Just making my way through the comments, guys, see if there's anything else. So yes, to answer your question, Tarball 69. Yes, it does have photoreal coverage areas there. It is 6:50 in the morning in Warsaw. Okay, so he's either up really early or really late. So, yeah, the only drawback here is the jet bridges. That's all I can see. I can't really pull up anything else, anything really negative about the scenery. I think they've done a great job. It really just comes down to the jet bridges. I mean, they did a great job on the vegetation, which PacSim is good with vegetation. They're really good with that. I mean, you see their tropical stuff. It's really, really immersed. Really gives that whole tropical feel. So when it comes to vegetation, like, I've got no complaints with PacSim. It really is just the jet bridges. And again, and I did say this earlier, they've really stepped up their game with the texturing methods that they use now. I mean, the texturing looks really, really nice here. So they've stepped up their game really significantly in that area as well. And that's why I'm really looking forward to Salt Lake City now, because with each product that PacSim does, they just get better with each step. And to me, when it comes to developers, I mean, that's just a great thing. I mean, you look at even some of the big guys like Flightbeam, and some people are like, well, there's no way they could get better. And even them, they're still trying to push the bar and get better. So it's just happy to see that all around. So as far as that OpenLC thing, I'll have to figure that out. I'm not really sure yet. Let's see. So Misha's saying something is against EULA. I'm not really sure. What's against license agreement? I'm not sure. Tarball's asking, why do stock lights float above the runways and taxiways in P3D? I think that does that in FSX as well, because they're meant to simulate city lights. You just don't see the poles that they're attached to because they don't add them. Let's see here, just kind of making my way down. I think I've made it all the way through. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, and Greg's pointing out to every animated custom jetway you see. Yeah, and it's funny because even like I have that freeware. I think it's the CYYJ scenery, the Victoria scenery, the freeware, and even they figured out how to do. They figured out how to do the Control J thing. I don't know how that works, like the whole sort of coding with that. I don't know how that works. Can you just make one animated jet bridge and then use that same model everywhere where that jet bridge is used? I mean, can it work that way? I don't know. That would be a really interesting question to have. I mean, they don't have to model each and every. You don't have to do, like, if it's JFK, you don't have to do 200 jet bridges, right? You just do the one, and then they all know how to connect, and you just place it. I want to assume that's how it works, but I really don't know. But I think if it is that simple, I think it would be a cool thing, like, for a developer to just sell that, like, create like 20 JetBridge static models that will code to any airplane, and all you have to do is just place the JetBridge into the scenery, and then it'll work. Like, if someone creates that and sells it, I think they're going to make $1 million. Like, because a lot of these developers, and people who, make their own little freeware sceneries can use it. I mean, anyone essentially can use it, and they can just place a jet bridge. Like, for example, those older AFX editors where you could place jet bridges like in sort of an AFCAT sort of interface. You could just place it there, and then once it's there, then it would automatically code Control J. I mean, I don't know. There's a couple of developers here that can tell if that's possible or not. But You know, that's the only thing I guess that I could think of that would be something good for developers to do. But aside from that, final thoughts on this. Excellent job by Pacific Island Simulations. They've really shown that, you know, they are not in any way moving in a static form of just producing the same quality over and over. For example, Blueprint. No, they are really stepping up their game with each release, and you can definitely see it. I mean, the ground textures, the night lighting is probably the most impressive thing that I've seen in this scenery. Definitely a lot of attention went into the night lighting. Again, the parking lots and the vegetation, animated trams, the glass texturings, the internal modelings. I mean, everything here just really shows the amount of time and effort that went into this project. So I want to tip my hat off to Graham for a job well done and his team. Actually, let's take a look at this really quickly. I realized I didn't really zoom in on this on the signage here, which they've got lit up at night as well, which is nice. Very nice. So other than that, if there is no final questions about the scenery, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap up the night shift. That's right. It's been a lovely time hanging out with you guys this evening, and I certainly hope that you've all had a wonderful time with the late night stream. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it was the late night stream. And before we bring things to a close, just want to give a shout out to Jetline Systems for making the world's best computers. Oh, you guys really know how to put together a sexy machine. That's right. And unless there's any other questions for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. World of AI actually makes great traffic. The only problem with World of AI traffic, and because the only problem with World of AI traffic is it was originally designed for FS9, so it's like an FS9 code that's in there. So here's the only trade-off you're going to have when using World of AI is I like to use the Orbix. I like that Orbix. They have their own traffic packages for like the Pacific Northwest, and they have traffic packages for Australia. Those ones are coded for FSX, so any FSX coded AI traffic that you use will no longer appear. So I believe your default AI traffic will remain, which is just a bunch of, you know, like turboprops or whatever, but everything else that's coded for it, like that FSX code, will not appear. That stuff will disappear. So that's your only trade-off. And as long as you're not using anything like that, then, you know, World of AI is still a terrific way to go, especially as a freeware alternative to some of the payware stuff out there. And as far as the payware traffic stuff goes, I've actually heard some negative things about a lot of those payware traffic packages, and a lot of people have said, you know what, World of AI is better. So I don't know. I've never bought any payware traffic packages, because if you can get something for free, then you might as well get something for free. All right, so only two negative things about the scenery. No animated jet bridges, and AvCAD needs some work. The AvCAD definitely needs some work. As far as what was done right, just in summary, wonderful night textures. Love the runway textures. You did get that sort of surface refraction on the runways. Lovely taxi edge lights. I mean, everything with the night lighting is just beautiful. We had some nice internal modeling with the hangars and with the actual terminals themselves. All of the nearby office buildings were rendered, and those all look very, very nice, which you can see here. So again, Pacific Island Simulations have stepped up their game, and happy to see that. There's just two little areas here. AvCAD, that can be, you know, reworked. So whereas AvCADs are, you know, not easy to do, you just have to have the right guru who knows how to do it. But when you see stuff like this is not good. So you know, I think just maybe an AvCAD rework. Besides that, you even have taxi bridges here too, which I don't think I even pointed that out earlier. We did kind of flow over it, but you got your taxi bridges here. So I mean, again, everything else here was done very nicely, although those are probably not actual bridges though, huh? Are they? Oh, they are. So other than that, I mean, you know, the quality of the texture work, very nice. The quality of the glass work, everything just well done. So kudos to PacSim, just those two little areas, correct the AFCAD, and try to start working on coding for jet bridges. Or, you know, I mean, I wish, you know, there was more communication between different development companies where they could help each other out, but, you know, that's life. But I certainly hope that they move away from the reliance of AES. It's time for everyone, I think, to just move away from AES, because you know, if it's not just about not working for Prepared from a developer standpoint, and the whole reason why GSX was created in the first place was, you know, the guys at FSDT just got sick and tired of waiting for one guy who refuses to allow other people to help him out and increase the size of his team to get these airports done. So if you're a developer and you develop a mega airport and then you sell it on Monday, people are not going to buy it on Monday. A lot of people, probably half your audience, are going to say, you know what, we're going to wait until AES comes out. And I was one of those people. I wouldn't buy a scenery until the AES came out. And that might take 2 weeks. It might take 2 months. It might take 3, 4, 5 months. You know, depending on whenever the developer has the time to get around to it, because he develops out of his free time, as opposed to building a team that can stay on top of it. And so for that reason, I'd like to see developers get from underneath that sort of, you know, that wing and code their own jet bridges, because at least for them, it ensures that people are going to buy it on day one. And GEX works with every airport, so it just doesn't work with jet bridges. So and in this case, you know, I think AES is just a setback for this. I mean, it's still great to have it. AES is a wonderful program. I love it for everything that it does. But again, it doesn't work in Prepared. And again, you do have to wait for that functionality to come along. So that's really the only drawbacks that I see to this scenery. Otherwise, very well done. And based on just my playing around with it, I certainly highly recommend it. And it's $5 cheaper on Sim Market. It's a little bit more expensive if you get direct from the developer, but you can take some peace of mind that when you do buy it directly from the developer's website, more money goes into their pockets and helps fund the next upcoming project. So think of it as a donation, if you will, on top of what you're already paying if you buy it directly from the developers. Last look for any other questions before I sign off. Misha, interior modeling with WingFlex. Oh my God, WingFlex with navigation updates. You guys are crazy. Garrett says Flight Tampa should sell their jetway tech. You know, or maybe even, you know, Javietsky sells a lot of their stuff. I don't know if Stan is still here or not. But I know he sells a lot of his stuff. He sells the static models, which is actually used in the scenery. I know that he also sells vegetation. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Stan, maybe you could find a way to sell your sim object display engine or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but you know, that I'll leave that amongst you developers to sort out. But that is something that could also be just a general alternative, but I don't know how much coding and how much is needed in order to make that happen. So I'm really just clueless and ignorant when it comes to all that stuff. So if there's nothing else, thank you everyone for tuning in. I've had a great time hanging out with you on this Monday afternoon. Stay tuned tomorrow as I try desperately to get another scenery presentation in tomorrow. I still got quite a few. I've got what have I got going? I've got Daytona, Key West version 2. I've got Paro. Oh man, I am way behind. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna try to get something in tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But once again, everyone, oh, wait a minute. Osan says Sim Object Display Engine is free. I thought that belonged to Javietsky Design. I don't know how that works, but he says it's free stuff. I don't know. So maybe that's something that Graham needs to look into, Sim Object Display Engine, for his future stuff. So anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you had fun. I certainly had a good time. And remember, airdailyx.net for all your flight simulation junk. I am